messy data in one place and clean data all together in a new column. So I hope this was helpful. Right? So this is how we have cleaned all the names. So this is how you do it, guys. I hope this was helpful. As you can see, all the emails are. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to teach you what is the pain point when it comes to data science interviews. And you guessed that right. It's data cleaning, and I'm going to tell you how people actually fail at data cleaning. The moment you appear at interviews, it's all a messy data. People panic when they see a messy data. They don't know how to clean it. And let me tell you what, 80% of this job is just data cleaning. If you don't know how to do that, trust me, you're not going to make it. That's the difference between the people who get hired and the people who fail. But don't worry, I got you here. Today, I'm going to show you how do we do data cleaning from starting to the end. So before any delays, let's get straight into it. But before you do that, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel because you're going to like what you see. Alright guys, so we will start this video with the very basic string cleaning methods along with regular expressions and different examples, functions. Don't worry, we'll explain it along the way, so let's get started. So we'll start by importing the libraries, and I'm going to show you what exactly is data cleaning. So we'll take a messy string, as you can see. It will have small letters, capital letters, numbers, special characters, and everything. So we'll start by understanding what all steps do we have to take. Number one step is going to be converting all of it into lowercase. So let's start by this. To use this, we'll have a lower function which converts the entire string into lowercase. Once we are done with this, we'll move on to removing the spaces, for which we can use lstrip or right strip. We are going to just use one function which is strip, which removes all the spaces in one go. One more trick is that you can remove the spaces and convert it into lowercase by just one line. Club these two functions, lower and strip, and there you go. You can do it in one line. Now to replace one word with other, we can use replace with good, with great, and that's it. You are done. Let's move on. Right guys, so now to understand what is exactly regular expression, it's a pattern matching and searching technique using which we can do data cleaning. In data cleaning, you can see there is a raw string which is R double quotes. This is basically used to ensure that Python does not get confused between forward slash as a special character or this whatsoever. So we'll always use that. Apart from this, we'll also use other functions. So don't worry, let's understand with examples. Alright guys, so now we are going to learn the first function, which is re.sub, which is going to replace or remove any patterns. So first of all, we are going to learn how do we remove numbers. \d is going to remove or replace numbers with an empty string. If you do this, as you can see, all the numbers have been removed. Now using the same function, we are going to replace or remove all the special characters. All you have to do is use re.sub and say you want to keep all the letters, small or capital, and white spaces. Remove everything else with a blank or empty string, and there you go, all the special characters have been removed. So just keep the letters and white spaces, that's all. Now to remove any extra spaces, we will use /s plus, which needs to replace with one extra space so that any extra spaces will be replaced with just one space, and that is it. Now let's move on and understand the find all function. So guys, the find all function will help you understand if a particular pattern exists in a particular string or not. So let me help you understand with the function. So I've written this sample string which includes letters and numbers. So you'll have different set of numbers in between the string. I'm going to show you whether this exists in a number or not. So the pattern says /d, and I say if you find this, return it. Okay, so let's see. It converts into a list of individual numbers. However, if I add a plus sign and then I run the same text, you will see that it gives me a group of numbers as a list. This is the difference between /d and /d plus. Let's move on. Now let's have a look at the search function, which basically helps you understand if a pattern exists anywhere in the string or not, whereas match function will tell you whether it exists in the beginning or not. So as you can see, when I'm using search with the Boolean output, it is telling me that the word Python exists in the string. However, if I tell you the match function, it will only check if the particular pattern exists at the very beginning or not. This is the difference between the search function and the match function. Otherwise, both of them are more or less same. Okay. So converting the output into Boolean, if I'm checking if Python exists, you can see that this does not exist. Simple because in the string, you have a space at the very beginning. Now let's understand one more example. So as you can see, I love Python. So I'm trying to check if Python exists at the beginning. So I'm using two functions. Search tells me that it does exist in this string. However, if I use match function, it tells me that it is not, because it's not at the beginning. You can have a quick rule here which tells you that something exists or it starts at the beginning or the end. When the position matters, you can use this part. I hope this was helpful. Let's move on. So now we are going to just combine all these functions that we have learned into building a reusable cleaning function. So let's start with the function, okay? It will take an input as text and we are going to apply all the functions one by one. So we'll convert it into lowercase, remove all the spaces in one go. Next step that we are going to do is we are going to remove numbers, for which we are going to use subfunction, define the pattern /d, remove it with empty string. And next we are going to remove special characters, which means we'll have only the letters and white spaces. And then we'll move on to removing any extra spaces. So let's do that as well. Now we are going to remove all the white spaces or extra spaces with /s plus. Okay, remove it with one space and that should be good. Return the output and let's see the function is created. Okay, now we will take a sample string. As you can see, it has all the messy letters and everything, and we are going to apply this function and see how this is going to result. We're going to provide the input and you can see that this is removing all the space. Oh, okay. This function basically is removing the white spaces also. So let's remove the white spaces. They should work now. There you go. Okay. So we were basically removing the white space at this stage. That's why it was not working, but now this is working just fine. Okay. So now we are going to see if we can apply the same function to a complete data frame. So you can see this column has some messy rows. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a new column, just applying the same uh, pipeline that we created for cleaning this entire data. Let's apply the same function here. So every single row will basically go to this function, get cleaned, and a new data frame column will be created. Let's see how this works. If we run this now, you can see that now we have messy data in one place and clean data all together in a new column. So I hope this was helpful. But guys, this is the most important section that you are going to learn now, because now I'm going to show you how the real world data is completely different. It comes from different forums. It has inconsistent formatting, partially invalid, almost duplicate. And we are going to show how to do string cleaning, data standardization with this part. Okay. So this is very important. Please pay attention here. And I'm going to show you a data set that reflects real world data, wherein you will have names in different formats and contact numbers in different stylings and different formats, email which is almost invalid sometimes, and you can see that the names are repeating but not exact duplicates. So this is how the real world data looks like, and this is where people exactly panic. Today I'm going to show you how to clean this kind of data, because the contact details are always there in every kind of data. So let's get started. Step number one is going to be cleaning the names. We are going to do three different steps. Number one, convert all the names into lowercase. Next, we are going to keep only alphabets and spaces. And finally, we are going to remove all the extra spaces. So let's understand how do we do this. We are going to create a simple function here, take the name as input, and we are going to apply the same functions, which is converting it into lower and removing all the spaces, and now defining the pattern for it. Let's have a look at that. First of all, I'm letting you know that there is a connector, which could be a dot specifier, it could be underscore, it could be hyphen. So I'm basically, as you can see in the second row, it says Rohit.Mehra. So if I don't define this pattern, basically I will have a Rohit Mehra name, which will be loss of information. So I'm defining that if you see any dot, underscore, or hyphen, it is going to replace it with an empty string. And then I'm removing any special characters in the string by the same pattern, as you can see. Okay. All the special characters are going to be removed at this stage, and then I'm going to remove all the extra spaces. So let's see how this is going to turn out. This function has been created, returning the name variable. I'm creating a new column here, as you can see, which is going to have the updated and clean names. So let's see how this is going to look at. As you can see, all the names are now very well formatted, almost consistent, right? So this is how we have cleaned all the names, and I hope that the three steps are very easy, but you got the idea. Okay, so you have to look at the patterns very carefully. Let's move on to steps. Now, when it comes to contact numbers, let's understand how do we standardize it. Okay, as you can see that there are different steps or different types of numbers available. You have the area code with plus available, and then with brackets also. What we are going to do is we are going to have all these patterns available and see how are we going to fix it. We are going to create a new function here, take the number, convert it into lower, and then strip away all the spaces. And then the important part is I'm going to remove all the non-digits here, all the non-digits, so that all these special characters, brackets, hyphens, plus, everything will be removed. So we'll just have numbers after this step. Okay. So as you can see, we have plus icon and everything, so we don't want any of it. So after this step, you should have just 11 characters, as you can see. Okay. Now these are 12 characters, but if you count the indexing, it starts from 0, so you'll have 11. So what do we want? To extract the number, you just want the last 10 digits of it. This is the most important part. So after you have done the data cleaning part, you want to extract the last 10 digits. For this, you have to understand the concept of string indexing. Now, the most important thing is when you start with -10 and begin to the end, it basically starts counting from the right hand side. Okay. If you start from the left, it will not give you the complete number. But if you start from the right hand side, it will give you the exact mobile phone number without the area code. So this was the logic of me creating this function. Now if we create a new function, one second, something is wrong. Let me just update this. So, okay, this is not run. Now this should be working. So now I've created a new column wherein you should have the updated contact numbers. And as you can see, all the numbers are absolutely in the right format. Now this is a very critical. And as you can see, the last number was invalid. That's why we have the complete mobile phone numbers sorted and cleaned. Let's move on to the next column, which is emails. Alright guys, so this is going to be the most important part now. In the email, as you can see, we have different types of email formats. So the steps are going to be like this, okay? We are going to convert all into lower cases, strip the spaces, and then the most important part is we can include letters, dot, at the rate, and underscore, because these are the only characters which are allowed whenever you write an email. So I'm going to include all of these, like letters, dot, at the rate, underscore. That's all I can have. Okay. So this is the list of pattern that I'm defining. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to create a function. So the function looks like this: lower into strip, so that we are removing it all the spaces. Defining the pattern, I need all the small letters, all the numbers, dot, at the rate, and underscore, just like I just explained. So if I find anything which is not this, I'm going to replace it with an empty string. And finally, we are going to create a cleaned mailbox. Now, one more thing that you need to understand is, once this is created, I also want to validate whether this is in the right format or not. Now, this is an exceptionally important part. So I'm going to create one more function here, which is going to take the clean email. I'm going to define the pattern. Now, pattern is very important. So it starts with letters and then numbers, or it can have dot or underscore. Then it's going to have the at. Okay. Then the domain, which can be numbers or something like that. So for example, abc@gmail.com. So this is the format I'm trying to define here. In the first section, I have letters or numbers. Second section, I have at the rate. Third section, I have got the domain, which is letters or numbers. Then dot. If you just write dot here, which means any character, but the reason I have written /dot is because this specifies an actual dot. And after dot, it is going to be your .com or .edu, .in, .org, anything as such. So as you can see, after dot, I just need some characters, which can be minimum of 2 and maximum of 3 characters. Okay, so the minimum size is going to be 2, maximum size is going to be 3. So this is going to be the pattern to validate. Just to give an example, my name or email could be like anuj1234@gmail.com, or rohit87@yahoo.in, or neha1234 at xyz.edu. So as you can see, this is how the emails look like. This is the structure. So I'm giving the first part, the second part as an at the rate, third part as domain, fourth as a dot, and finally after dot, what comes next. So this is the pattern, and then I'm converting it as a match pattern, so that I'm validating it as a true or false. So I will clean the email and then validate whether that email is properly formatted as a structure I've defined or not. If not, it will give me a false, which means it's an invalid email. Let's create these two columns. Let's see what's going wrong here. So I think the function is not running. Let's run the function. This should work. So now that we have created two new columns, this is the final data frame with clean names, clean mobile numbers, and clean email. As you can see, everything is very consistent, almost duplicate, and then we can move ahead and delete the duplicates. So this is how you do it, guys. I hope this was helpful. As you can see, all the emails are fantastically updated. As you can see, row number 2 has an incorrect email. That's why I created the validation function. So guys, this takes a lot of hard work to create videos like this. I hope you found this helpful. So please do practice data cleaning. And if you like what you saw, guys, I request you to please subscribe the video and leave a comment down below about what you want to see next. I'm going to leave this document down below so you can go through this, practice data cleaning. I have covered almost everything. And these are the final thoughts that I have. So keep on working, keep on practicing, and let me know what do you want to see next, guys. Thank you so much for watching this entire video. If you watched this to the end, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.